What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Doghouse. This is going to be a very special video for today. I'm sitting down and doing an interview with two of the stars of the YouTube movie Voorhees. If you haven't seen that movie yet, go check it out. The link is in the description. So, with that said, let's get this done.
Start it.
All right, I'm here with Christopher Gordon Scott and James Marston.
Masten.
It's all
No, it's all good. Nobody gets my last name correct ever. It's all good.
I should have got that because I never acted the same name. All right, there are stars of the I'm gonna say hit movie Voorhees. All right, so I'm gonna ask some certain questions and get some answers. All right, how long it take to make this movie?
Too long.
Yeah, right? I'd say, it was about a 3-year process, I guess. That would be including post-production. But, for about shooting, it was a pretty long process because there was a lot of coordination going on between the actors because, we all have jobs and lives. We didn't get paid for this. So, yeah, we, about 2.5 years of coordinating between different scenes and stuff because there were many scenes where we all had separate scenes, when we're all together, and then the hardest parts were when we all had to come together for the big scenes where every character, especially all the criminals and the victims, were in the same scenes. Those are the hardest ones. And honestly, we'll get to another story there later. I'm sure you have questions. But
All right,
yeah.
Another question. Whose idea was it to put it in movie theater? Was that just a spare the moment type thing, or did someone come to you and say, let's put the movie in the movie theater?
No, that was, I think, Cody's initial intention was to have an actual physical movie premiere because so many fan films don't. They just end up.
Yeah, I was about to say that too.
You know what I mean? I don't really know what the whole logistics behind it was. He handled all that. He kind of kept us in the loop a little bit. I just know where they found to play it at, which was the Alamo in Winchester, Virginia. It just, I guess, turned out to be the best for the budget and everything. So, and accommodating for what we wanted as far as the amount of people that we wanted to have.
especially during the whole COVID situation and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I know Cody did say that he, the whole reason for the premiere wasn't necessarily for him necessarily. He actually wanted to give us something to celebrate all together.
Right.
With the fans, that people that could come and the cast and crew, could celebrate the whole production coming together to fruition, because it was a very difficult production to come together.
Yeah, I like that's a good idea. Like having a movie theater from a YouTube perspective and everything. Like, gee, I never thought of that. Like, why other people have done it before? Like, they take time to make these things. Why not just put them in a big theater? But
It was cool.
Yeah, it was definitely it was surreal the first time I saw it because Cody would send me clips after we would go out and do filming. A couple days later he would send me clips of what we filmed.
right.
You know what I mean? Just to kind of, I guess, maybe let us see what we were doing now, and which was cool. So I'm not kidding when I say I literally have half the film on my phone. You know what I mean? Before editing.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, right. But so it was fun to see that though. You know what I mean? But when I actually physically saw the end result, when they had James and I out that night for the private screening, Chris Washington's house for the private screening, and it was just the four of us. I didn't really know what to expect because at this point I really had kind of not known what the status of the film was going on. I heard so many different release dates and then it kept getting pushed back just like everyone had talked about. But so, we were kind of not in the loop either, But when everything kind of started coming to the realization that, oh my God, this is actually going to happen, they had us out and they were like, well, you guys want to see the movie? And I was like, yeah, duh,
Yeah.
So yeah, they had us out and I'm not kidding you. Like when I was watching through the whole movie, like I had stomach cramps the whole time just because, you know what I mean? It was just like, yeah. It was so surreal and so like exciting and monumental because I had never been in a film like this before. And
It was
and
way beyond what we expected.
Yeah, way beyond what I
we
was
knew we
expecting.
had something special. Don't get me wrong. We knew we made something special because as we were filming it, we knew we had something special, especially with our Jason, Jordan Blanco. Shout out to Jordan Blanco. Without the Jason that we had, the story that we had, the actors that we had, we knew we had something special. We just didn't know how special it was going to turn out. Like the fact that we put so much effort into it, and we knew, like when it finally all came together and we saw the end result, the end product, you know, what everybody, the hard work that everybody put together, it was mind blowing what we were able to accomplish for a fan film on a low budget. Like, and we do get some scrutiny, we do get some negative reviews and stuff like that about it, you know, but those are so far and few in between the positive. You know, we knew we had issues. We knew we were going to get hate from it, but I mean, I was so surprised. We were so surprised how well it turned out.
it's not easy for it to go out and do any kind of film project, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because it all starts with the story. You know what I mean? And when they initially got me involved in this, and that was my friend Christopher Inlow, you know, I'm ever grateful for him to get me involved in this.
Amen. Yeah, you got me involved.
He's a good guy. He's a great
Yes,
guy.
he is.
Always looking out for his buddies, man.
Right.
And not just his buddies, but other people, huh?
He played the deputy, right?
Yeah. No. I'm the deputy.
No,
he played the chief.
Chief.
Yeah. And yeah, he just brought an awesome creepiness to that role, which is just, you know. But you know, initially they had some other guy that was, I guess, long distance, and they didn't feel comfortable with that.
Right.
So Inlow, knowing knowing our friendship and me, just told Cody, he's like, dude, I got the perfect guy for this. So he hit me up and he's like, hey, look, I got a role. It's a Friday the 13th fan, and you would be playing the deputy with me. And I just told the director that, you know, you and I have known each other for so long, our chemistry would be awesome for this. And I was like, yeah, let's do it, you know. And initially it was just going to be a short film, but then, you know, I guess all this popularity kind of started coming into play, and they decided to extend it to a full length. And they liked what the cops had brought to the film so much that they were like, yeah, we're going to write more of the cops in. So I was just like, you know, because I had like 4 lines coming into this thing, you know, I'm like, oh, hey, it's better than nothing, you know what I mean? So then he's like, oh, I got, you know, so then, you know, as this thing kind of is developing, my character and the other, you know, the chief became more of the, you know, the story,
Right.
than just a side twist, you know what I mean? So,
Cause you said something about so many delays. I remember watching the trailer, then all of a sudden, I didn't see nothing about it for a while, and then all of a sudden, then poof, there's a movie for me. I like how did it happen? Like all of a sudden, like all the delays, and all of a sudden, I watched the trailer a long time ago. I said, that's cool, that's nice. I just thought that was it, just a trailer. I didn't know y'all actually were making a movie.
Yeah, I think that. You're not the only one.
I think they released 3 trailers. I just don't know. I think the first one is the one that got the most views. You know, I just don't think that. I don't know, for whatever reason. But yeah, pretty much the same thing. You know, it's like I mean, I knew things kept happening with the delays. I know I had to reshoot some scenes, and a lot of it was because either lighting or sound issues or whatever, you know, that there was going on.
Continuity issues.
Yeah, we had to go back and we had to film some scenes, so that kind of cut into extra kind of, you know, again, you know, we're not all exactly experienced professional actors, you know what I mean? We're trying our best here, you know what I mean? But I mean, I'm pretty proud of what we did because, you know, absolutely. I mean, I'm an artist and everything, so when Cody found out that I worked at a sign shop, you know, at the time when we were doing this, he was like, you know, he started asking me, hey, could you make the Voorhees sign for the Camp Crystal Lake, you know, or the Camp Crystal Lake sign? I was like, yeah, sure, man. So I made it, and it came out really good, and then something happened, so he stole it off the property. He was like, hey, man, you know that Crystal Lake sign you made, you know, that you did a really good job on? I was like, yeah. He's like, hey, so, do you think you can make another one? I was like, why? I was like, why? You like it that much? He's like, well, no, it looks like somebody kind of stole it. And I was like, wow, awesome. So yeah, so I made 2 of those, and then I made a bunch of the news clippings that Alice finds upstairs. And
You did the truck as well.
Yeah, I decked out the police car and we put the lights on and everything. So when I originally signed on to this, I was just signing on as Bobby with 4 lines. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, halfway in, I've got my hands all over the damn thing. Doing makeup here, and I even did a bullet hole on Haas's head, the one, and William. Haas was just such an awesome guy, man.
Haas Russell.
He was out there so many days trying to film that
He
scene.
got sick from it.
Yeah, anyway, where was I going with that?
Wait, though, the final scene where the guy opened the door and the head is just who did makeup for that stuff?
That was
Amos
Effects. Amos Effects.
Mm-hmm.
You guys did a great job with the effects in this movie.
Yeah, they did.
We had a scatter of makeup artists throughout the production of the film. Mm-hmm. Not every single scene was done by the same makeup artist. Almost all the stuff towards the second half of the film are all Amos Effects, but we did have we had one person, I can't remember her name, was her name Amanda, who did the bullet wound for Emilio. She did that. I believe she had also worked on The Walking Dead. So we had her out there, and that was probably the hottest day of the year. That was crazy. It was the hottest day of the year. It was nasty. And there we are laying on dirt and rock, for hours on end in the heating sun. We had plosh and...
I had to run out to... one day, it was so hot.
You had to go get water.
I ran to Walmart and got those spray bottles for the fans. You know what I mean? Dude, I had to... I ran to Walmart, but dude, you couldn't find them anywhere. I couldn't find them anywhere. They're sold out everywhere. So I finally went to I can't remember where the hell I found them at. It might have been a Home Goods or something like that. And I went in there, and they finally had some. I bought 12 of those.
Yeah,
things.
Dude.
I bought half the shelf, man. I'm not coming back for these.
We had that canopy that we had out there between takes, so we were under the canopy with those fans, and if it was
nice,
too hot between that, we would be sitting in Ploshin's car with the air conditioning on. Trying to cool off. I mean, it was bad.
Oh yeah, we had all kinds of crap.
When you see Emilio in the scene and you see the sweat on him and stuff, that's real sweat.
Real sweat.
That's him.
We didn't just pee on him.
Yeah. That poor guy. Shout out to him for enduring that. He had that prosthetic on his stomach the entire time. So by the end of the shoot, he had a tan. But where the prosthetic was, he had a nice little white spot.
Too, yeah. I can see something like that.
It was bad, yeah.
James, tell me about your character, Derek.
So Derek has a history with Elena. He is an ex-con. Went to prison under unknown circumstances. All we know is that Elena got herself involved into a situation that he didn't want her in and ended up getting hurt, and he ended up going to jail. So Derek, I guess, coming out, wants to do this heist or is involved in this heist with these people, getting himself into a bad crowd. Elena works at the bank that they rob, and she would know who Derek is if he were to show up even with a mask, because obviously they have a history. So they kidnap her. He doesn't actually expect Blaine to bring her there, and that's kind of how the whole situation goes down. I guess he kind of accepts it as it is, but can see from the moment, Derek the entire time is guilty. Derek knew he had to do this. Derek is just trying to live his life, do his thing, She's there. He's laughing at me.
No, actually, I was just thinking about how funny it would be if I kicked Greg in the nuts right now.
He did do it. I do believe Derek did do the heist for Elena.
Right.
Because he wanted to make a better life for her. She just happened to end up there in that situation. Of course, it didn't work out the way he hoped. But I think Derek has good. The character himself has a good heart. Just gets himself involved in bad situations.
Right.
So that's Derek in a nutshell for people that don't really kind of get the background of Derek.
Yeah, you don't get that until later on. In the beginning, I first thought he was a dick. Watch.
And he was.
Yeah.
I mean, there was actually a conversation. Me and Cody had a conversation, because we had a lot of conversations over the period of this production. And we were talking about Derek, and because there were a lot of times Derek had many different deaths that he was supposed to have. Derek's character arcs were different. There was a lot of different iterations of the character. And there was a point where we even discussed, where Cody actually asked me, or even said, well, why don't we have Derek survive? Why doesn't Derek survive longer? And I said, fuck no. I said, kill that motherfucker. I said, he's the reason she's there. Like, even though he gets his redemption moment, he still deserves to die. Because no matter what, her friend is dead. She's there. She's in that situation. Even though he's doing this thing, he still deserves to die. That's his penance for the whole thing. You know, and so that's the kind of conversations we had. Derek, the whole point of the character is that there was an arc for him. There's even a headcanon. There's a cool headcanon for me about Derek that I would like to bring up. It's not official in the script, because so Cody doesn't get upset about it. But headcanon for me, my character's name is Derek. Okay, he has a Raiders tattoo. All right. One cool thing about the character to me is his name is Derek. He's the fourth character to die in the film. The quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders is Derek Carr, and his jersey number is number 4. I like to believe that Derek Carr and my Las Vegas Raiders now foreshadowed Derek's death to him.
So you just made all that up, or did Chris actually do that for you?
I came up with that my own. That was my own headcanon.
Yeah, that's all his, man.
That's my own. I like to believe that my own team, but that's not
I left
Cody's
the back
canon.
door open for that, so if I had to get out of it quick and hurry, man, I'd have to stick around. So
That's not Cody's canon. So don't get me wrong. That's
all yours in your
Yeah.
head. Okay, no problem. Alright. Chris, you did the music, the end track, right?
Yeah, and I played the deputy.
Okay. What's
I see how it is. You're gonna ask him about his.
Nah, I'm about to ask you too.
I see.
I'm about to ask you too.
Did you pay him off? Did you pay him off?
I ain't broke right now,
Let's see
so
what
it
it
makes
is.
sense.
I'm about to ask you too.
He gave him $20.
200. That's cheap.
Nah, so tell me about your character.
I said 20.
Yeah, no, Bobby is just, he's not from the area. He's, deputy's kind of sheep. Or, I'm sorry, the chief's sheep. And, he wants to, he's not a bad guy, really. I mean, he kind of is a dick. But, he's really not that bad of a guy. He's just kind of like, how it is when you're around the bad influence. You just kind of
Following one, please.
Yeah. He's trying to impress him and trying to maybe, make a name for himself, because this is his career now.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he's not from the area, so he doesn't know anything about this whole Jason lore. So, which is kind of, hopefully that kind of comes across in the film that, like, he's kind of like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? But he definitely enjoyed fucking with Oscar, that's for sure. Yeah, he enjoyed that. But yeah, no, he, as the film goes, he kind of is starting to realize something is going
Fishy and wrong.
Yeah, something ain't right. I mean, yeah, he's excited about getting money, you know what I mean, of course, but when he finally sees Jason, I think he kind of realizes the shit that he's in, you know what I mean, and then he kind of understands.
See, Jason, you gonna piss your pants.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, that scene, man, oh my God, dude, we did that thing. We shot that thing so many. You were there a few of the nights too, weren't you?
Depending on which scene.
The scene where I was sitting in the cop car and they were trying to do
The donut scene?
No, not the donut scene. The scene where they were doing the slice. I thought you were
I was there, especially when Jordan punched the window out. Yes.
Yeah, and then slammed my head into the windshield.
Yeah, I was there for most of that, and just trying to get the prosthetic, and it wouldn't work because the blood wouldn't stay.
And the blood, it was cold out. What was this, November? Late November?
It was pretty cold out.
Yeah, it was cold.
Oh,
and the blood they were using was cold. So it would just go down my collar, and I could
instead of
feel it
shooting out,
trickling down and just hugging my balls. And I was just like, oh, no, this sucks. And we did it, like 5-6 times a night.
Because you were trying to get that to just squirt
and
out
they
that
just
warm
couldn't.
in there.
Yeah, they couldn't get it to do right.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, it sucks so bad. So, Anyway, but yeah, so once I was dead, I was like, woo, yes.
No more working,
Yeah.
except for your effects and stuff like that.
Right, yeah, of course. You know,
no more on scene.
Yeah, no, I kind of was the filler. When I was doing makeup and stuff, I did a little bit of my Eileen's makeup at the campfire scene.
The bruise.
The bruise, yeah, I did that. I did a couple others. I might even do a little bit on you too.
I know you did Alice's knuckles and stuff.
Yeah,
no, was that Amanda?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I did some. I know I did Willie's.
I
I did Willie's
You did one Amanda,
bullet
I'm
hole.
sorry.
I did this awesome bullet hole. That's where I was going before I got lost. I did this awesome bullet hole on Willie's head, man. And I looked it up on YouTube and how to do it. And I was like, okay, I can do this, man. I'm an artist. I can do it. And dude, it came out so awesome, like for my first go. You know what I mean? And then they cut it out. I was like, you sons of bitches. It's like that was my masterpiece. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
It still worked.
Yeah.
The scene still
Yeah,
worked.
it still worked. But I was still, man.
It's called editing, man.
I know,
Some
man.
stuff.
But you're adding out the prime rib right there, man. I was like, come on, babe. You know. But anyway, so they
We'll get it in the deleted.
yeah, so they made up for it when I sneaked my band in at the end credits.
Okay.
He kind of came to me and he's like, hey Scott, you wanna? Because he always calls me Scott, dude. Actually, half the people in my life call me Scott because that's just, I guess, my name. In fact, actually, most of the people I knew growing up, like when I was young, they would call me Chris Scott. Like that was my name. It wasn't Chris. It wasn't Scott. It was Chris Scott. Hey, Chris Scott. Like that. That's how they address me. I'm like, hey, how's it going? You know. So anyway.
It's better than being called Frog or Kermit. The Kermit Frog, you know.
Yeah, that's true. I guess.
Growing up like that.
I got it. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So they gave me the title track, and he came to me and he was like, "Hey, Scott, your band want to write a heavy song for the end credits?" And I was like, "Sure." And then I just started thinking about it, and we had recorded this album in, was it 2018? No, what was last year? Yeah, 2019. 2019. Early 2019, my band recorded this album called Listen to Me. And it's a 4-album EP. But it has a song, You Make Me, on it. And this song is just, like, I've always been kind of like a metal drummer, funk, rock metal drummer. But, you know, I years ago, my friends kind of got me into everything like jazz and fusion and all this shit. Which really kind of saved my life as far as a drummer. But, so anyway, I'm very familiar with metal and like old thrash and stuff like that. And, you know, so I'm just like listening to the song in my car, just driving down the road. And it's just, when I drive and I listen to this, my foot seems to get a lot heavier. And it's just like, and road rage starts kind of like, you know. And I mean, listen to the song and drive down the road. Tell me that shit doesn't make you go, you know what I mean? Like, it just fucking goes nuts, you know. So I'm like driving down the road and I'm going, dude, this is fucking perfect. So I messaged Cody. I was like, Cody, I got the fucking song, dude. I got the song for the end. So I pulled up the set one night and I was like, I started playing it. I was like, that's it, dude. And Cody kind of does this Cody thing where he's just kind of standing and he's guys. So you remember he kind of standing and he's just kind of listening. He's just kind of listening and he's kind of like looking down at the ground. He's like, okay, you know. And he kind of looks at me. I like how it starts, Scott, where it goes, you know, but when it starts off with that, you know. And he's like, but yeah, man. I mean that's. And so you know, like when he's like when he's talking, I'm like, okay, well he digs the song, but I'm like.
You don't know.
But I don't know, you know. So anyway, so he's like, yeah, I think we can use it, man. I'm like, all right, you know. So of course, you know, as you know, time goes on, I'm just like, yeah, he's probably gonna forget. He's probably not gonna do it, you know. So, and I'm not gonna be that guy that kind of keeps emailing him like, hey man, use my song, man. Come on, man, do shit, man, use my song. I'm not gonna be that guy, you know. So I was just like, man, hopefully he remembers, you know. And so yeah, eventually he kind of reached out and he's like, hey man, can you email me that song? And I was like, yeah, dude, hell yeah. So I emailed it to him, and I, you know, didn't hear from him. Like 2 months later, he's like, hey Scott, can you email that song again? I was like, oh fuck, yeah, email it again. And I think like, I don't know how much time goes long. Like, and one more, he's like, hey Scott, you know, I hate to ask you, could you email that song? I was like, Oh, we're never gonna get the song on there. I'm fucked. So finally, he dude, this is like maybe a couple months before release, like literally a couple months before release. And he's like, "Hey Scott, man, we're gonna get your song in the end." I was like, "For real?" I was like really? And he said, like, I guess he, like, you know, he was talking with the composer, Adrian, about it, and they were having, yeah, I guess, talks and differences maybe, but eventually they worked it out, and Cody got it on there, man. And to be quite honest, dude, like, for this type of movie, the way we set the tone, Cody's cinematography, the I don't know how to.
The
violence. Well, the violence, and I don't know how to explain it. Like maybe my terms, but it has a kind of a Rob Zombie look to it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my like a Rob Zombie kind of like Tim Burton maybe kind of look to it a little bit. You know, like
very
some of the coloring.
Texas Chainsaw.
Dude, there's some scenes in that movie that I just love the colorization that they did, like with the clouds in the background when you're walking up to the barn.
I love that scene.
Oh, I love that scene. I love the colorization of that. That's just me. But and I just want to say this: a shout out to Adrian who did the score. The score. I've been listening. Yeah, I've watched the movie a few times now. You know, and I think one of my favorite parts in that whole movie is that scene when Alice is up with I don't remember all their names because I don't care. I'm just kidding. Alice is up at the characters. I mean, Alice is upstairs with Dan Blaine.
Oh yes,
Blaine, and she's asking Dan about. She's looking at the clippings and she's asking Dan like what happened here.
Right.
And that music there, man, that he did, just gives you
not
such
just
an incredible creepy vibe. Tone, and I
those little sound effects too while she's going over the the you know, while they're panning over the pictures and stuff. You hear the slashing sound effects and stuff. Those little touches that he adds and stuff.
And it's still, it kind of gives me goosebumps.
Right.
No, seriously.
Talking about
no, because like I love it because like that scene. I love that scene because of what it is.
Right.
But what makes it even so more special for me is the fact that my props, my news clippings, are the things that set that whole scene up, and I'm just like, hell yeah. It's awesome, man. I love that scene, man, and the music is, like I said. Shout out to him, man, because that music in that scene in particular is my favorite that he did in the entire movie. Just because I love the creepiness of it.
Well, you know, with your song at the end of the movie and the way the tone of the movie and everything, the feel that I got once your music kicks in at the end, totally reminded me of the time when I went and saw Freddy vs. Jason in theaters. And when we walked out, the feeling you had after you walked out of the theater, like Freddy vs. Jason was just that type of movie where they had that heavy rock in it, you know, and you know, right at the end, Jason's coming out of the water with Freddy's head, and then that song just kicks in at the end, like it had such a heavy Freddy vs. Jason feel to it to me, like it was just a fun, fast-paced movie as it should have been because Jason is a monster in it. He moves with I mean, nothing's gonna get in his way. He moves with authority. I mean, he's a nasty, scary, unstoppable force of a Jason, you know. And so for that tone of a Jason and that type of Jason, the type of movie we have, you can't do anything other than hard rock or metal, honestly. Like nothing else helps. And the only way you can get away with not having hard rock or metal at the end of this movie would be to just have Adrian's score just straight right at the end, but it just wouldn't have the same impact.
Well, I think that's what the talk was it was either that or our song, and of course, you know, Cody, you know, he did live up to his promise.
It had such a better impact with the song.
No,
we had the reveal of the tombstone at the end, and then you hear the
boom. And I think that's what we liked overall about the song and the fit for the movie was the fact that it had the two hi-hat hits that it was just so perfect for the sequence that they were doing at the end to just light it up and go into the credits. And I think maybe it was Adrian that did the blood dripping in the background too.
Added so much.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice little touch to it, you know, to see that. But it was just really surreal to see myself on screen but then actually hear the band at the end of the movie just going, oh shit, that's my band. Oh, and by the way, guys, I'm sorry. This is Matt, our vocalist. I brought him with us.
Right.
He had kind of a hell of a night last night, so he's kind of, he's a little dead. So we'll talk to him.
He fell asleep with a joint.
Yeah, yeah.
Name
He
your
waits
band.
a little
weed,
too much
bro.
sometimes. Yeah, a little too much, man.
And name your band.
Oh, Reluctant Zero.
Reluctant Zero.
Yeah, and we're about to drop a new album next year that I think everyone, I hope, is gonna like because it's pretty special, man.
Do y'all play locally anything? Or-
Yeah, we've played a few places around. We were playing in Baltimore for a while, but we've played Casey's Music Alley a couple times in the last couple months since things have starting to kind of get back to doing some events here and there.
Okay.
So we've done that, but of course right now with everybody concerned about the spread of the virus still, and things not quite hosting large events, it is what it is. We've kind of been doing online stuff,
Okay.
but we're filming. We're about to film our new video this month, at the end of this month for Hurt No More, and it's going to be a good one. And originally we were going to do a concept of a clown. Well, actually, I don't want to give it all away. But anyway, sorry, we can just scratch that out if you don't. But
Promote your Voorhees video.
Oh yeah, we did the Voorhees video too online, so you can see the band with some clips of the movie in there, and it's got the "You Make Me" song that we did the video for. But yeah, no, we were about to do this "Hurt No More" song, and originally we were going to do a concept, and then the other guitarist was thinking about this concept, and then after I guess maybe seeing the Voorhees film and everything, Matt was like, well, Chris can act, so they're going to let me do the kind of thing in the video. So I'm kind of excited about that. I kind of won the honor back. It's like,
Alright.
I didn't suck, Mom. It's sweet.
Alright, cool. Well, I want to thank y'all too for the interview.
Oh, no, thank you for having
thank
us,
you,
man.
man.
We
No
really
problem.
appreciate it, man. Thank you, definitely.
You think you'll be doing more movies with Chris, or just?
I mean, any projects that come up, if he's in it, I'm down.
Yeah.
As long as I get offered.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank y'all again.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.